The international break for October is all but over now, and we turn our attention back to the EFL Championship. It's game week 12. We've got 12 fixtures to predict. Just as a reminder though, at the top of the Superbru leaderboard, which if you'd like to join in with all the action and all the fun, then look in the description for the league code and link to the Superbru website. But top of the leaderboard, currently on 125.5 points, is both GKK 474 and Alex Cochrane. So all to play for. The games are going to come thick and fast because we got midweek fixtures next week as well. But we kick things off on Friday evening with Rotherham taking on Ipswich. Rotherham, one victory this season so far. Season's in 23rd in the table. And Ipswich Town, magnificent, currently in second position, having won 9 matches of their 11 fixtures, and last time out they beat Preston 4-2. So this should be a foregone conclusion. However, Rotherham at home can make it a little bit tricky for sides that they come up against. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 away victory to the Tractor Boys. Next up, we've got the first of the Saturday fixtures. Preston North End, who've had a real dip in form, haven't won now in 4 matches, take on Millwall, who it is so difficult to predict, isn't it, for the Lions. They came away with a 2-2 draw against the Tigers last time out. Battle of the big cats there. And then before that, they actually had a very good victory against Plymouth Argyle. So, tough one to call. I'm going to have to sit on the fence. I think Preston, after the international break, had a little bit of a rest. You could say they've regrouped. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this fixture. We then return to Ewood Park, where Blackburn Rovers take on Cardiff City. Cardiff now, a draw in their last match at home against Watford, where they should have taken all 3 points. Well, no, saying that, it wasn't a good display by the Bluebirds, and actually Watford could have taken all 3 points themselves. And prior to that, it was a loss against Middlesbrough, a resurgence. Middlesbrough and Blackburn Rovers returned to winning ways with a thumping 4-0 victory against QPR after 4 straight defeats. So this one, tough match to call. Cardiff have had a few players out on international duty, so another one I'm going to sit on the fence with here. Could go either way this one, but I am going to go for another 1-1 draw. And talking about draws, this one could end up in a draw as well. We've got the Wurzels, Bristol City, the Robins, if you want to call them that, taking on Coventry City, who have been a little bit resurgent of recently, up to 13th in the table. Just a 1 defeat in their last 7 matches, and they've recorded 2 wins in that time as well. And last time it was a 1-1 draw against Norwich. Bristol City suffering defeat in their last fixture against Leeds United. So another one, tough one, but I'm gonna just edge it to Coventry. I think they'll come away from Ashton Gate with all 3 points, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win. Then we move on to Huddersfield at the John Smith Stadium, taking on Queen's Park Rangers, who've now suffered 3 straight defeats, as we just mentioned, a 4-0 thumping against Blackburn Rovers. And Huddersfield, at the moment, the draw specialists of the division, 1 defeat in their last 6, but it was a draw against bottom club Sheffield Wednesday, the Owls, in their last fixture. So Huddersfield at home should really be taking all 3 points against this Queen's Park Rangers side, who find themselves in the relegation zone, and I think they will. And I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 home win to Huddersfield. We then move to the MKM Stadium, where Hull City take on Southampton. Southampton turning their fortunes around recently, now into 10th position. A creditable draw for Rotherham, you could say, against Southampton in that last match. They should have really won that one, the Saints, and a lot of people were predicting a win for Southampton, but it wasn't to be. And Hull City, 1 defeat in their last 7 matches, now a draw with Millwall in that last fixture. So anything could happen in this one. Where do we go? I think we're going to have to go for another draw. I'm going to have to go for another 1-1 scoreline in that fixture. We then move on to the Riverside Stadium, where both of these teams have really got their act together in recent weeks. Middlesbrough now 4 wins on the bounce, and Birmingham back-to-back victories as well, where they followed up a 4-1 thumping of Huddersfield with a 3-1 victory over close rivals West Brom, and Middlesbrough a very good 4-0 victory against Sunderland, and Sunderland prior to that match had been playing really well. So Middlesbrough on the up after a very, very bad start to the season. It is a battle between former teammates as well, Manchester United teammates of Michael Carrick coming up against Wayne Rooney, where he takes his charge of Birmingham for the first time since returning from the United States. Could Rooney find this one tough? Well, the bookies have got this one down as a Middlesbrough victory, and I tend to agree as well. I think Middlesbrough will take all 3 points in a 3-1 win. Former manager Eustace getting harshly treated, but that's the way Birmingham City want to go with. A massive name, big name in Wayne Rooney. We'll see what happens, what transpires in the coming weeks and months. We then move on to Carrow Road, where Norwich City take on Leeds United. Leeds United just one defeat in their last 7. Norwich a draw against Coventry in the last fixture. Back-to-back wins for Leeds against Bristol City and QPR. This one again could end up in a draw, could end up in a Norwich victory, but I am going to edge it to Leeds for a 2-0 away victory to the Whites in this one. Norwich City, okay, they do tend to score as well, but yeah, I'm going to edge it to Leeds 2-0. We then move on to the Bet365 Stadium. No doubt this is going to be a windy match. Both of these teams, of course, play in red and white stripes. Sunderland suffered a surprising defeat, you could say, against Middlesbrough in that thumping, but they got destroyed 4-0. And Stoke City, their season, you know, a lot of people were tipping them for good things this year, but one victory in their last 7 matches sees them just outside the relegation zone in 21st position in this one. I'm going to have to go with the Black Cats to return to winning ways, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 away win. We then move on to Swansea.com Stadium in South Wales, where Swansea City take on the Foxes. Now, Swansea, after a tumultuous turmoil time in the league, after suffering defeat against the hands of Cardiff City in that South Wales derby, has really turned their season around. 4 wins on the bounce, a very, very good win on the South Coast against Plymouth Argyle in that last fixture. And Leicester City just keep marching on now. They've won 10 of their 11 matches in the league. That means they've got 30 points on the board after those 11 fixtures. And it was a very, very good victory against Stoke City in the last match. I'm going to have to go again with a Leicester City win. I do think they'll concede in this one, but I think they'll come away with a 2-1 scoreline there against the Jacks. And there should be, well, you tend to think there'd be a good big crowd there at the Swansea.com Stadium, but we'll just have to wait and see. Then we move on to Vicarage Road, where Watford, a good display against Cardiff City, especially in that second half where they could have taken all 3 points in that last match, take on the Owls, a draw themselves in the last fixture against Huddersfield. But even though I thought Watford were a little bit iffy in that game against the Bluebirds, I think they will take 3 points in this fixture, their first victory in 6 matches, and I think they'll beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-0. And the final fixture of this game week sees West Brom take on Plymouth Argyle. Plymouth now only 1 win in their last 6 matches, and indeed West Brom have only recorded 2 wins in the last 6 as well. It was a defeat against Birmingham in their last fixture in that derby, and Plymouth suffering defeat against Swansea City and Millwall. Could end up in a draw this one, but I am going to just favour Middlesbrough in this one, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 home victory to West Brom at the Hawthorns. So there we have it. Those are my fixture predictions for game week 12. As I said earlier in the show, make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. Join in all the fun. Let's see if we can catch up with likes of GKK474 and Alex Cochran as well. So we're back at it, back to the grind of the EFL Championship. As I mentioned, there are fixtures coming up midweek as well, so look out for my predictions for the next game week coming soon on the channel. But enjoy your EFL Championship weekend. Have a great time over the weekend as well. I'll see you all in the next video.